This is Chris Hero, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what certainly will be a discussion video here on WGS-TV that will pretty much probably rouse a lot of hate from people just based on the subject at hand. There are a lot of people right now on Facebook and social media who are singing the praises of Brock Lesnar in WWE. A lot of people saying Lesnar is legit, he's the best thing to happen to WWE. He's great. He's grand. However, when I step in on social media to debate them, and when I debate them, I use intelligence over some of the language and the level of maturity fans on social media use, and they tend to use on there. They can't handle it, and they resort to name-calling and insults just to defend their claim. So I'm coming on here to state my claim and my opinion. I have 5 reasons why I believe Brock Lesnar just flat out sucks in the WWE. And I got a couple of guys on here who are also ready, willing to give their opinions, whether this be to debate or just comment on what I have to say about it. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he's a resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing today?
Pretty good. This could be interesting.
And yes, ladies and gentlemen, from the Houdat Temple, he's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
Off topic, there's only one non-total diva left. That's a different discussion for later on.
It certainly is. It certainly is. So let me go to reason number 1. The lack of good mic skills by Brock Lesnar. The fact that Brock Lesnar cannot cut a promo to save his life. And this is what basically we got before, I think it was SummerSlam, the promo. I'm going to leave John Cena in a bowl of blood, urine, and vomit. Grrr. That's the best we got from Brock Lesnar. There's no emotion in his words. He's basically reading off of a cue card, in my opinion. You know, it's basically very robotic-like. I used to say that about Roman Reigns, and he drastically improved. Brock Lesnar, during his initial run in the WWE, actually had some credible mic skills to his name, and they just fell incredibly flat since he made his return to WWE, which is the sole reason we have Paul Heyman. The only true legitimate claim for Brock Lesnar's promos, and the only reason why people pay attention to those promos, is the excellent golden work of Paul Heyman. Lance, in my opinion, Paul Heyman could take this hat and talk it up like it's in a main event spot in WWE. That's how good his mic skills are.
True. But WWE having champions that can barely do very good promos goes way back. And they put them with managers who can talk laps around some people. Like, just an example, Andre the Giant. Whether you can actually understand that big old son of a gun or not, that's debatable. But when he had Bobby the Brain Heenan, oh my God.
Yeah, Bobby the Brain Heenan was the sole reason why Andre the Giant was basically over as much as he was as a heel back at that time. But the fact that I'm saying, you know, Andre the Giant can speak for himself. Even though a lot of people can't, you know, he kind of falls into the great colleague kind of type of situation.
Well, not anymore.
Well, not any. Well, yeah, we understand that the reasons why for that. But the fact of the matter is, if you know, in this day and age when managers are rarely used in the wrestling industry, and it's really uncommon to see that. Back in the 80s, we saw that everywhere. You know, we saw it with Bobby the Brain Heenan, you know, Reverend Slick. You know, we had Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. We had all kinds of managers and valets that would speak for the talent. In today's industry, a lot of the talent speak for themselves, and the fact that Brock Lesnar has the inability to articulate anything in his promos is one of the reasons why I say Lesnar, James, has a definite lack of mic skills to be in the WWE or be in the, quote, spotlight and the position that people are putting him in.
Well, that's the main reason is I kind of have to agree with the mic skill stuff is that, you know, and I agree also with Lance is that, you know, there's been champions in the past that doesn't have mic skills, but if they give him a good manager, then you know they can be a great person. But with Lesnar, I got my other issues with him, but the mic skills I have to agree because if he's on his own, no. If he's with Heyman, then he's credible.
Reason number 2 that Brock Lesnar sucks in the WWE. His moveset. A lot of people want to unfairly judge people like John Cena based on his moveset. He's only got 5 moves, the 5 moves of doom. What does Brock Lesnar have? If people want to use the comparison of his moveset and say that's the reason why he's so much better, I mean, look what he has. He has the Kimura arm lock, German suplex, and an F5. Now, before we started recording this video, I have to agree with something that Lance Moss said, that in his initial run in the WWE, Lesnar had a more enriched moveset, a more in-depth moveset in his initial run in the WWE. But ever since he came back, he has just been extremely hampered, extremely limited. And the fact of the matter is, right now, we can only really name 3 moves in his moveset. And people out there, Lance, just want to judge people like John Cena based on the number of moves in his moveset. And if they want to make that kind of comparison, it's unfair to say that Lesnar has a better moveset when he really only has 3 moves in that moveset.
Well, yeah. I mean, you forgot the ground and pound he always does, where he just wails on the dude, which technically that's a move. And did I do like a shoulder charge or something? Or something.
I'm trying to think, and I really can't. I really can't say anything like that.
I kind of think that. Well, we all know how watered down WWE is with most of its moves nowadays. Most of them have been called unsafe or something, but I'm thinking that's a call from up high that Brock can't do any of that, because I'm pretty sure that they watered him down, not Brock. Because if you're as big as that guy, you want to throw a guy around like a rag doll. Yeah.
Here's one thing, James, that a person brought up to me on social media. Now, his reasons for Lesnar being legit in WWE is the fact that nobody else uses the F5. The John Cena's version of the Death Valley Driver, the Attitude Adjustment, is a lame ripoff of Brock Lesnar's F5. First off, any sane, intelligent wrestling fan would know that Brock Lesnar had nothing to do with John Cena's interpretation of the Death Valley Driver. If anybody wants to really be attributed to that, it's Louis Spicolli. He is the true innovator of the Death Valley Driver. And people want to, go ahead.
Lance wanted to say something. Lance wanted to say something.
I can tell you why people say that.
Go ahead.
Remember when Cena first started using it?
Yes.
What was the original name of it?
It was the FU.
And who was he feuding with at the time?
It was Lesnar.
There you go. That's why people say it, because who the angle was and all that. That's why people say it's a ripoff. Right there.
Yeah, but they can't legitimately say 100% that it was, because The
Yeah.
FU is nothing like the F5. It's a Death Valley driver. And people are saying, oh, Cena using somebody else's move. We've seen it all the time. Lesnar uses an F5. Who else uses F5 with a different name? I'm like, really? Really? That is your claim for Lesnar's legitimacy in the WWE is the fact that he has a move that nobody else uses? Hello? What did Matt Morgan use in the WWE before he left to go to TNA? Think back to when he was feuding with Big Show. What did he use on Big Show before he left to go to TNA? He used an F5. So right then and there, that argument that person made is completely invalid. That nobody else uses the F5, so that's why it's a legitimate moveset. To me, James, that's a bunch of BS. That's saying, like, nobody else can use the DDT legitimately because Jake the Snake Roberts was the first one to use it, and people like Raven effed it up, Tommy Dreamer effed it up. That's pretty much what people are saying.
Well, that's the main thing, really. Going back to what Lance said, that's true, really. The whole FU, F5 thing, that's why he did that moveset. But going on to it is that, WWE has that tendency to. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic with what your question was. I'm sorry. But really, with Brock Lesnar's moveset has to be tuned down a whole lot because of the injuries. And that's your main thing, the whole injury stuff. We going back to what I think Lance said was that, he had a great moveset, but then once he moved to MMA, if that moveset became a little different to fit that what he was with the MMA style. That's why he has so little moveset than what he had in the past.
Yeah, but it's the fact of the matter is people are judging guys like John Cena just based on the diversity of his moveset, and to me that is an unfair thing to do with a person in his moveset. I mean, if they want to judge the fact that John Cena only has 5 moves in his moveset, what does that say about guys like Hogan? What does that say about guys like Goldberg, who have a very limited moveset in themselves?
And, that I agree with that is that there's been other superstars in the past, like you name Hogan, Goldberg. I mean, look, I kind of to say it, Roman Reigns. They don't have a diversity moveset. There's only they do one big move and that's game over. So the 5 moves of doom. He has that 5 moves to beat you with. But it's yeah, I agree. It's unfair to base off one person of how many moves. You have to base everybody to do it.
Number 3, the third reason why Brock Lesnar sucks, in my opinion, the maturity of fans on social media. Allow me to explain. A lot of these fans after WrestleMania, when Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker and snapped The Undertaker's undefeated streak, had this to say about Brock Lesnar. Lesnar's not good enough. Lesnar shouldn't have broken the streak. Brock Lesnar is the wrong person to defeat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Fast forward to SummerSlam. Fast forward to Brock Lesnar winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Brock Lesnar is the best thing that happened to WWE. Brock Lesnar is legit. Brock Lesnar is the man. The fact that the only reason why fans jumped on the Brock Lesnar bandwagon is because of the utter blind and ignorant hatred of John Cena. To me, it's just literally offensive in my opinion. Earlier today, I've also put on the post that I was going to be doing a type of video like this, and somebody commented this exactly. Lesnar doesn't suck. He is a lot better than Daniel Bryan. And I'm reading that. I'm like, really?
No. Now, back in the day, that would have been a very interesting match because both of them guys could go. Now, Brock might still be able to go if they'd let him use the moves he's used to and not just pound on a dude. But the whole Taker Cena thing, a hell of a lot of us thought Lesnar did not deserve to. We figured younger guy, elevate him. the Cena thing. Okay, I'll be straight up with you. I was laughing my ass off when I saw him suplexing the hell out of Cena, but y'all know my feelings on Cena. That's just me.
Yeah. In an attempt to intelligently debate some fans on social media, when their last resort, James, from what I've seen, is to resort to throwing insults to a person's intelligence over the fact that they don't agree with them. You know, a lot of fans on social media, in particular, and I'm going to call this group out, WWE TNA Superstars Facebook group. 90% of those people hurled insults to my intelligence just based on the fact that I respect Cena as a worker in the WWE, that I won't jump on the Brock Lesnar bandwagon like everybody else. They're basically telling me that I don't have a right to have my own opinions about the product. And to me, to tell someone that they don't have a right to their opinions about anything is wrong for anybody to say.
I wonder how this would go back to when we had let's say we had this type of technology back in the Hogan era. With the same people, same type of people would say the same thing about Hogan. Yes.
Hell yes.
Exactly. Here's your thing, though, is that, you know, I am a smart wrestling fan myself. I mean, even though I do kind of have that little mark in me, I apologize. But at the same time, it's that you have to respect who's been in the company and how long, and you know what they contribute to, you know, the product overall, you know. And we all came together as a group, even in Hardcore Wrestling Radio, saying that Brock Lesnar did not deserve to break the streak. He did not deserve to win the title because he's a part-timer. And the fact is that, you know, there's the people on there who, I'm going to say this, who lives in their mother's basement or mother's house. Well, me, myself, but at the same time.
Watch it, James.
But no, but you and me are different. You and me are different because we're smart wrestling fans.
Yeah.
There's just those people who's just like, I hate it because I've seen the same crap every single week. Look in the past. We had all that with Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock. Why complain now?
Exactly. A comment made by Michael Smith here on the live stream of this video. He says, I think Brock Lesnar is a big bully. Well, none of us really know Brock Lesnar personally and what he's like away from the industry. So we're not formulating opinions about Brock Lesnar's ability in the WWE based on his real life events. And that's what a lot of people have been doing on social media, is they're going outside beyond the reins of the wrestling industry and saying, oh, because Lesnar beat this guy so-and-so, that he's more legit in WWE than John Cena. To me, you can't say anything beyond the scope of the wrestling entertainment industry and use that to prove someone's legitimacy, in the business itself. Which brings me to reason number 4, unfair comparisons by fans. One fan on social media, especially in the WWE TNA Superstars Facebook group, said that John Cena is the Frank Mir of the WWE. They were both champions, and they were both bloodied up and beaten by Brock Lesnar. Is the fact that you went outside the scope of the wrestling industry to try to prove Lesnar's legitimacy in the WWE, is the fact that your argument deepens and screams invalid. You cannot go beyond the scope of the wrestling entertainment industry to prove someone's legitimate in that industry. That's pretty much saying that, no, you're going beyond and me coming on here and saying, you know what, I think I'm a great guy and I'm more fit to be on here and formulate my own opinions because I have a lot of girlfriends. That's basically saying I know what I'm saying because I go out there and I talk to people that I don't know anything I'm talking about because I'm a John Cena fan. That's what people are resorting to. And the fact of the matter is, Lance, when people, what I'm saying is fans can't go outside the scope of the wrestling entertainment industry and say that Lesnar's legitimate. To me, Lesnar's run in the UFC should have no bearing on what he does in the WWE. But the fact of the matter is, people are doing that.
True, and is it correct that he is a legitimate world champion fighter? Yes, but should it have affect what he does when he steps in the WWE ring? No. What I'm wondering is, like James said, if we had this technology that we're on right now, what people have said the same thing about Ken Shamrock back in the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
Let's say that with Ken Shamrock, but the thing is that has he ever been a world champion in WWE? That's the main difference between Lesnar and Shamrock is that
No, but he was a TNA world champion.
The first ever TNA World Heavyweight Champion, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, on the first ever TNA broadcast, the NWA Championship actually, by the way.
Well, yeah, well, still the same freaking organization.
But we wind back to the Attitude Era. I'm not talking about TNA. I forgot the TNA stuff. It's just I want to go back to WWE.
Yeah, but again, you can't go outside the confines of the wrestling entertainment industry, in my opinion, and say what this person did away from the wrestling industry proves his legitimacy in the wrestling industry. People are actually now going beyond the scope of that and saying, oh, Frank Mir can definitely beat up John Cena, or they're saying that Brock Lesnar can definitely beat up John Cena in a real UFC fight. How does that have any bearing on the wrestling entertainment industry by going out beyond there and saying, because Lesnar can beat John Cena in a real fight is the reason why he's more legit than John Cena in the company.
And here's the thing, though, I apologize, is that MMA and WWE is a whole lot different. Is that the training is a whole lot different because in WWE you train a different way to how you work in like the wrestling industry. While MMA, you're there to like beat up somebody. You're actually legitimately beating up each other. And Billy, you definitely know a lot about the wrestling industry in the inside, having you being an announcer and all that.
Yes, definitely. So, but the fact of the matter is, when people go out there and and I tried to intelligently debate this guy. I tried to intelligently bring up the fact that you can't go outside the scope of the wrestling entertainment industry to try to prove someone's legitimate worth in the wrestling industry. It should have no bearing whatsoever on what this person has done away from the wrestling industry to prove his legitimate worth. Which now brings me to the fifth reason why Brock Lesnar sucks. And to me, it's not really his fault. It's WWE's fault. Let me explain. I call it the improper usage of talent. No one on this video, including yours truly, is saying that Lesnar can't draw people in the wrestling entertainment product. In fact, I agree with some of the people that when they say that Brock Lesnar is a big draw for any kind of a wrestling entertainment franchise, whether it be WWE, TNA, or anything in the independents like Ring of Honor. When people hear Brock Lesnar's name within the confines of a wrestling promotion, people know who it is. They want to come see him because of his past in the WWE. A lot of people know the name of Brock Lesnar. And that's not the problem I'm having. The problem I'm having is the improper booking and usage of the talent. A lot of people are saying that it's a good thing that we don't have any appearances from the WWE World Heavyweight Champion or any WWE World Heavyweight Championship matches for the rest of the year. And I disagree with that to a point. Now, with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship being away one person is arguing that it gives it more prestige, and to an extent it does. It's because it's a title that we're rarely seeing. But one person is saying, you know, that we don't see the UFC champion on every show. We don't see that. We don't see an MMA champion on every show. That's comparing apples and oranges, to be honest. Because, again, it's something we've already said. You can't go beyond the confines of the wrestling entertainment industry to prove a point about the wrestling entertainment industry. It's ridiculous to even say something like that. The issue I'm having is, you know, I agree to a point about his the appearances and the fact that he's a part-timer, yes. But the fact of the matter is, you know, why not have title defenses on pay-per-views? You know, he doesn't have to be there every week, Lance. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that WWE has not scheduled any title defenses or any appearances whatsoever for Lesnar for the rest of the year. And you put the WWE World Heavyweight Championship was supposed to be like the mainstay title of the WWE, which indicates that you're supposed to be the face of the company, which to me was a very bad decision by WWE, in my opinion.
Well, about the whole every pay-per-view might be debatable, but at least the Big Four.
And again, for those of you who don't know the Big Four, that's the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series.
Yeah, he should at least be at Survivor Series. And, okay, Night of Champions too, because, well, that'd be kind of weird not having your championship defended at Night of Champions. That's just like.
Yeah, but it's the fact that, you know, I'm not disagreeing with what people are saying that with the title being away, it gives it more prestige. That's not my issue with it. It's the fact that it's improperly used. I mean, a lot of people, when they tune into the wrestling industry, you know, it's a storied type of entertainment where people have always tried to climb to the top of the mountain to be in top, to be the guy in the industry. And they put the title on Brock Lesnar. That says, you know, we have confidence in you to be the face of the company and help promote our product. And what has Lesnar done since he's won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, James? I can tell you right now, nothing.
That's true, really. Is that, you know, besides the match he had at Night of Champions, really, it's like, what has Lesnar done with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Has he gone to anything and say, hey, I'm the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, tune on to Raw or tune into this pay-per-view and watch me maybe make an appearance or defend the title? You know, and that's the main thing, really. You're right. And I'm going to be honest, you're right. The fact is that, you know, you need to have at least something, like have Paul Heyman come out like, my client Brock Lesnar, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, something like that, you know. And they basically dropping the ball, and correct. It's like, it's the wrong decision to really put the championship on somebody like Lesnar.
What happened to the 30-day rule?
Exactly. That's my point. That's what a lot of people are saying. You know, what happened to the 30-day rule? The fact of the matter is, people are saying, "Oh, we don't care. Lesnar is still more legit than John Cena."
And here's where it is. Also, it's like they're comparing it to the old days. This is basically what it is like in old days. You don't see a world champion for like, what, 3-4 months, and then like, oh, he's going to defend his title. No, this is new era technology, you know, internet, TV, cable, whatever, WWE Network you can get for $9.99. You need to have at least your champion come out once a time to defend his title. And basically, WWE is just like, screw the 30-day rule, because, you know, there's been people who've been injured who's still champion.
Exactly. And another issue I brought up, when has Brock Lesnar's name ever been really legitimately mentioned as part of a storyline in WWE right now? I mean, what's been the main focus right now of WWE? It's been Ambrose, Rollins, Cena, Orton. That's it.
The Authority.
Yeah, and the Authority. You know, there's been talk. You know, Rusev and Big Show. That as well. When has Brock Lesnar's name actually been legitimately mentioned on WWE programming as WWE World Heavyweight Champion? When was the last time that name was brought up? It's actually never been brought up. I think the last time is when Seth Rollins tried to cash in, and they had Paul Heyman on Monday Night Raw the following night on Night of Champions on Monday Night Raw to actually talk about it. That's been the last time we've actually heard any legitimate mention of Brock Lesnar being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And to me, that's a mistake. That's improper usage of talent. Now, again, we're not debating the fact that Brock Lesnar can't be a big draw for the WWE. That's not the issue. It's the fact that WWE is improperly using Lesnar. He can be used so much better than what he's been doing right now. It can be done to a much better degree than having him off of programming and off of TV for the rest of the year, even though you put the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on him. Yes, James?
Can I say, I want to mention, unfortunately, is that also is basically based on his contract. He's basically have a contract that say, oh, I can appear for only this amount of days, or this amount, or like these dates only. Why don't WWE just offer him more money to appear at least once a month?
Since they put the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on him, too. Why don't they offer him a new deal?
Exactly.
But the fact is, they're not doing that, and they're sticking to that, and to me, it's a bad decision. Well, guys and gals, I'd like to remind everyone that this has been a personal opinion video about the reasons why I personally believe Brock Lesnar sucks in the WWE. And in no way, shape, or form are we saying that we believe Brock Lesnar sucks and everyone should agree with what we have to say. That's not what we're doing here. This is a personal opinion video. Everyone on here is entitled to their own opinions about the product. You know, me and Lance, we have a different set of opinion about John Cena.
Yep.
And yet we still come on here and we intelligently discuss the product. We're not going out there and saying that our opinion is right no matter what, and you have to believe everything we say. No.
Although my opinion is right.
Yeah.
The purpose of this video was to offer an opinion and to have an intelligent discussion about the wrestling product. And that's what we're doing on this video. And that's what we're hoping a lot of you out there who watch this video right now will offer up their opinions. If you agree with us, then so be it. But if you have a counter argument, we definitely want to know what you guys have to say and what you think about these 5 reasons about Brock Lesnar and what I had to say about Lance. Yes, James?
I was just going to say one thing from me. It's like, I don't hate Lesnar. I just hate the fact that he's a part-timer. That's all. Like, that's all I'm saying is that I don't hate Lesnar as a person. I don't hate him as a wrestler. He's just a schedule. That's my opinion.
And that's pretty much what I'm saying, too. I don't hate Brock Lesnar the guy. I hate the Brock Lesnar, the talent, and the improper way that he's being used and utilized in the WWE. But everybody wants to jump on his bandwagon, all because why? The hatred for John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
That's the #1 reason why everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and I think it's wrong to do that. And what this video has been, it's just been my opinions about Brock Lesnar. About why I haven't joined on the Brock Lesnar bandwagon, why I haven't jumped, you know, and just because I have a different opinion about, you know, what people think about John Cena doesn't mean, you know, I don't have a right to my opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and I definitely want to hear what you guys think about Brock Lesnar and what I had to say about him in this video. I definitely want to hear what you guys think. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck normal kicking videos, bunch of musical equipment reviews, some rants. If you haven't subscribed, get on over and subscribe.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is currently constructing a statue in the likeness of Bo Dallas in the Houdat Temple. It's James from the Big Easy. James, you got anything coming up?
No, I'm constructing a statue of you and the duck. But anyway. Anyway, I want to clarify something. I had to correct myself. There's four technically non-total divas left in WWE. One is injured. Anyway, in the Houdat Temple, you can find me on ivlog.tv/user/fatboy504, or you can find me on twitch.tv/fatboy504. I do games, game shows, talk about wrestling, talk about sports, rule clarification if you're confused on football, because I'm the guy, and anything else.
Wow, I'm just really, going back to the maturity of social media. People are willing to say anything to back up their claim. And this person is saying, quote, Brock Lesnar was an amateur wrestler with an amateur background and NCAA championship. He has more natural wrestling ability than John Cena can concur in an entire lifetime. Again, the NCAA, collegiate wrestling and pro wrestling are two different products. Again, they're going outside the scope of the entertainment wrestling industry to prove someone's legitimacy in the wrestling entertainment industry.
And here's the thing, though, it goes kind of doesn't go the same way with Kurt Angle. I mean, yeah, he's a good person, and he's a gold medal winner, and that's what everybody talking about Kurt Angle. He's the gold medal winner of 1996.
But they made that his gimmick for a while. The only Olympic gold medalist in WWE history.
Yeah. But anyway, guys and gals, don't forget to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, as my voice is trickling off a little bit. And also, don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/Wrestlegamer and youtube.com/Zephix TV Network if you haven't already. So while I go get a drink of water, guys, for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV and James and the Big Easy, I'm the Wrestlegamer, Dope Emily Bujo, saying thank you very much for watching.